Imagine being born into the British upper class, educated at the most elite schools in England, and then choosing to live as a beggar, a dishwasher, a tramp, and a coal miner just so you could understand the poor. Imagine fighting against fascism in Spain, getting shot through the throat and barely surviving. Imagine writing two of the most famous books of the 20th century while dying of tuberculosis, coughing blood onto your manuscript. Now imagine that same man, George Orwell, never losing faith in ordinary people. He saw the rise of Hitler, Stalin, and the atomic bomb. He saw his friends betray each other for ideology. He saw lies become truth and truth become a crime. And still he wrote, "If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear." This is not a story about a saint. Orwell was difficult, judgmental, and sometimes cruel to those who loved him. But this is also a story about a very specific kind of hope. The hope that one honest voice can stand against a screaming crowd. That a writer with a typewriter can be more powerful than a dictator. That telling the truth, plain, uncomfortable, inconvenient truth, is an act of courage. Welcome to our channel. Today we are telling the story of Eric Arthur Blair, who became George Orwell. And by the end, you will understand that hope is not about believing that the world will get better. It is about telling the truth even when the world is getting worse. Eric Blair was born on June 25, 1903, in Motihari, British India, where his father worked as a colonial opium agent. When he was 1 year old, his mother brought him back to England. He grew up in a comfortable but not wealthy family, the kind of family that had servants but could barely afford to keep them. He won a scholarship to St. Cyprian's, a preparatory school for the rich, and then to Eton, the most elite school in England. But he never fit in. He was poor by Eton standards. He felt like an imposter among the sons of aristocrats. He later wrote a bitter essay, Such Were the Joys, describing how the headmaster beat boys for bedwetting and forced them to accept humiliation as virtue. At Eton he did not excel. He did not go to university. Instead, in 1922 he followed his father's path and joined the Indian Imperial Police, stationed in Burma, now Myanmar. He was 19 years old. For 5 years he enforced British rule. He saw the brutality of colonialism up close. He saw Burmese prisoners beaten, tortured, hanged. He participated in at least one execution. He later wrote that he shot an elephant not because it was dangerous, but because he was afraid of being laughed at by the crowd. The experience broke him. He returned to England in 1927, resigned from the police, and decided to become a writer. He also decided to never again be on the side of power. George Orwell, he adopted his pen name at this time, taken from the River Orwell in Suffolk, wanted to understand the poor. He did not want to write about them from a distance. He wanted to become one of them. He left his comfortable family home. He gave away his money. He dressed in rags. He lived as a tramp in London, sleeping in workhouses and on the streets. He then traveled to Paris, where he washed dishes in a foul hotel kitchen for 14 hours a day. He nearly starved. He caught pneumonia. He was robbed. He wrote about these experiences in Down and Out in Paris and London, 1933. The book is not self-pitying. It is clear-eyed, funny, and angry. He describes the terrible food, the brutal work, the way the poor are humiliated by charity officers. He also describes the dignity of his fellow tramps, their jokes, their kindness, their stubborn refusal to be crushed. He wrote, "Poverty is a strange thing. It is not just being without money. It is being without hope. And then, slowly, it is being without the memory of hope." But he also found hope in the solidarity of the poor. He wrote about a beggar who shared his last cigarette. He wrote about a dishwasher who lent him money despite having nothing. He concluded that ordinary people are not saints, but they are not monsters either. They are just people. And most people, given a choice, will help. In 1936, a publisher asked Orwell to write about the living conditions of the poor in the industrial north of England. Orwell did not just visit. He stayed. He lived in a cramped house with a working-class family. He went down into coal mines, the most dangerous job in England. He saw children with rickets, families sharing one bed, men who could not afford to eat after being laid off. He recorded everything. The book, The Road to Wigan Pier, is half documentary and half political essay. In the documentary half, he describes the filth, the cold, the hunger. He describes how miners come out of the pit covered in coal dust, their lungs black, their bodies broken. In the essay half, he writes about why socialism has failed to attract the working class. He admits that socialists are often prigs and cranks who lecture the poor instead of listening to them. He also grapples with his own class guilt, admitting that he was born into privilege and can never fully escape it. The book made him famous. It also made him enemies on the left who accused him of blaming socialism for its own failures. When the Spanish Civil War broke out in 1936, Orwell immediately wanted to go. He saw fascism as the greatest evil of the age. He wanted to fight. He arrived in Barcelona in December 1936 and joined the POM militia, a revolutionary socialist group. He spent months in the trenches. He was almost never clean. He was almost never warm. His feet rotted. He caught lice. He was shot at every day. In May 1937, he was back in Barcelona, searching for his wife, who was also a volunteer, when the Soviet-backed communists declared the POUM illegal. Suddenly, Orwell was a wanted man. He and his wife went into hiding. They fled Spain by pretending to be tourists. But before they escaped, Orwell was shot through the throat by a sniper. He should have died. The bullet missed his carotid artery by millimeters. He spent weeks in a hospital, barely able to speak. He wrote about his experience in Homage to Catalonia, 1938, one of the greatest war memoirs ever written. He describes the camaraderie of the trenches, the boredom, the terror, and the way political betrayals can destroy a revolution from within. He wrote, "One of the most horrifying sights I have ever seen was a man being arrested by his own side. He was accused of being a spy. I do not know if he was guilty, but I remember the look on his face. He knew he was going to die, and he knew his friends would not save him." When World War II broke out, Orwell was too sick to fight. He had tuberculosis. He knew that his health was failing, but he still wanted to serve. He joined the BBC as a propagandist, broadcasting to India. He hated the job. He felt like a mouthpiece for the British Empire, the same empire he had despised in Burma. He was censored constantly. He struggled to speak truth. During the war, he reviewed books, wrote essays, and worked on his next masterpiece. The war was terrifying. London was bombed nightly. Orwell and his wife slept in a basement. He kept writing. In 1945, Orwell published Animal Farm, a fairy story about a group of farm animals who overthrow their cruel master and then slowly are betrayed by their leaders, the pigs. The pigs become just as cruel as the humans. The final commandment of Animal Farm is changed to, "All animals are equal, but some are more equal than others." The book was an allegory for the Russian Revolution and Stalin's betrayal of socialism. It was rejected by several publishers because they were afraid of offending the Soviet Union, which was then Britain's ally. When it was finally published, it made Orwell famous. Sold millions. In 1949, just as he was dying, Orwell published 1984. The novel imagines a totalitarian future where a single party controls every aspect of life: history, language, thought. The protagonist, Winston Smith, works at the Ministry of Truth, rewriting history to match the party's current lies. He falls in love. He is betrayed. He is tortured. He is broken. The most famous passages of the book are unforgettable. Big Brother is watching you. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face, forever. Freedom is the freedom to say that 2 + 2 make 4. If that is granted, all else follows. Orwell wrote the book while dying of tuberculosis. He was in a sanatorium on the Scottish island of Jura. He wrote in a freezing hut. He coughed blood onto the pages. He finished the book, then collapsed. George Orwell died on January 21, 1950, at age 46. He was alone in a London hospital room. His wife had died 2 years earlier during a surgery. His adopted son, Richard, was 3 years old. He did not live to see the full impact of his work. He did not see the Soviet Union collapse. He did not see the rise of the surveillance state. But he predicted it. He warned us. You are watching this video in a world that Orwell would recognize immediately. Governments lie. Corporations track us. History is rewritten. Language is distorted. The powerful call evil good and good evil. Orwell did not believe that this would change. He was not optimistic. He wrote 1984 as a warning, not a prophecy. He hoped that by showing us the worst possible future we might avoid it. But here is the hope in his story. Orwell, who had every reason to be cynical, who had been shot, betrayed, impoverished, and abandoned, never stopped believing in ordinary people. He believed that most people are decent. He believed that most people prefer truth to lies. He believed that the average person given a choice will choose freedom. He did not believe in utopia. He did not believe in revolution. He believed in small, stubborn acts of truth-telling. He believed in writing clearly. He believed in saying 2 + 2 = 4, even when the party says it equals 5. If you feel overwhelmed by the lies, if you feel that the world is too corrupt to be saved, if you feel that your voice is too small to matter, remember the man who went down into coal mines. Remember the man who took a bullet through the throat. Remember the man who wrote his last words while coughing blood. He did it so that you would know the truth. He wrote, "We may not be able to stop the boot from stamping, but we can refuse to call it a foot." That is hope. Not the hope of victory, the hope of resistance. If George Orwell's words have ever made you think twice about the lies you are told, hit that like button for the truth teller who died too young. Subscribe for more stories of courage against the crowd. And in the comments below, what is one truth you have refused to stop saying even when it was unpopular? Thank you for watching. Big Brother is not watching, but we are watching each other. Fade to black. The sound of a typewriter carriage returning. A single final letter. In a time of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. George Orwell.